I pozdrav ljudi, pozdrav. Moje ime je The Big Boy, nastavljamo sa igrom Syberia. Ok, došli smo do nekog verovatnog gradića ponovo, otkud znam, sad ćemo da imamo, evo ga hoće Oskar da priča.
At the halls of residence of Barokstadt University.
And do we really have to stop here?
The situation is incompatible with the pursuit of our journey.
What are you waiting for then? Wind them up, find a way. There must be some sort of train winding thing just laying around in this weirdo station.
I have seen nothing that fits that description, Kate Walker.
I guess we'd better find out then.
I do not like this station. The atmospheric humidity is detrimental to my sophisticated wheel workings. I will wait for you inside the train.
Wimp.
Ok, ajmo ovako, idemo mišem.
Oscar, we have a serious problem. How can we carry on our journey if this train doesn't want to budge? What are our options?
Every clock has its key, Kate Walker. Keep looking.
Well, I hope you're right. I'm gonna go see what I can find.
Ok, help.
Oscar, there's no way you could help me find a way to wind the train back up again?
Rust awaits my every movement if I leave this train, Kate Walker. And what would you do with a rusty engine driver?
Not a lot, I suppose.
Znači, ne može njegova pomoć, ok, Hans.
Oscar, I think that Hans Vorarlberg once stayed in this town after he left Valladolid. Maybe this wasn't a chance stopover after all.
Nothing is left to chance in a railroad network.
You agree with me then?
We have no concrete proof to support your hypothesis. The train stopped because the clockwork mechanism is unwound. That is the only concrete evidence we have, Kate Walker.
I was just hoping for a little imagination on your part, Oscar.
No, Kate Walker. I am only an automaton, Kate Walker.
Okay.
This train might be a wonder of technology, but the engine's limited autonomy is a liability. You got to admit that.
I am afraid I refuse to entertain this consideration, Kate Walker.
Ok, to
Oscar,
je to.
see you later, alligator.
In a while, Kate Walker.
Ok, ajmo da izađemo da vidimo šta ima tu. Šta se dešava. Ok, može tamo, može i preko mosta da se ide, ok. Ovdje nema ništa, ok. A vidim da nema ni s druge strane, tako da nećemo tu da idemo. Idemo preko, gore. Ovdje se baš čuju životinje i to dosta životinja. Može i tamo da se ide, ok.
No point.
Ok, znači tu ne može, idemo ovuda. A, moglo je i ovdje dole, fuck. Evo ga nešto ovdje. Ne znam šta piše, jebem li ga.
I need a key.
Znači, treba mi key da mogu da okrenem broj telefona. Ovdje šta god da je.
That looks broken.
Ok. I ovdje je zaključano, ok. Definitivno ovdje nema ništa. Idemo da vidimo ovdje. Da li možda ovdje može da se izađe? Vidi, mamut je ovdje. Ne može ni ovdje da se izađe, okej. Ovdje je mamut, ne znam da li vidite i vi. Ovdje je bukvalno gore mamut, tako da... Moguće da smo na dobro mestu. Da. idemo dosta pravo. Nemam pomeni kuda idem, ali idem negde. Evo ga, može još napred da se ide. Ovdje sve srušene kuće, čoveče.
That thing looks like the winding machine I used in the Valadilen station. I've got to find a way of getting the train up here.
Da li ja mogu da dođem tu? Fora što ovdje nema ništa. Ne, ovdje treba da im bude voz. Da, ovdje nema ništa. Ili sam možda s druge strane mogu da dođem. Kako? Ne znam. Da, ovo je baš konfuzno ovdje, sve živo. Jer ne, za sada još nigdje nisam provalio gdje treba da idem. Nema nikakvih pokazatelja. Hajde vidimo s druge strane da odemo pa... Ne znam. Znači s druge strane voza.
Kate Walker! Kate Walker! Come over here, please! I have something to say to you!
Okej, moguće sam trebao tamo da idem. Šta je bilo?
Yes, Oscar, what is it?
A message has arrived for you.
A message?
You have been summoned to see the rectors. They are the highest authority at the university. They want to talk to you.
Talk to me?
Yes, to the person responsible for the train.
So, I'm in charge now, sure, okay. But why would these gentlemen want to see me at all?
They do not say why, just that it's very important.
Ja i dalje ovo mogu da uzimam. Ove stvari odavde isto može da se uzmu. A ne, fuck! Ajde, uzet ću ovu figuricu mamuta. Mislim da može da se uzmu ovi cilindri, ko zna možda će mi trebati. Uzet ću i mamuta, brzo zato što... Okej, ne treba mi, znači još mi ne treba, dobro. Ja sam mislio da može da se uzme, ali izgleda ne može, okej. Zato što on univerzitet imao kao ispred svojih vrata kao onog mamuta. Pa, otkud znam, čekaj, rekao sam da ću vidim, bacim pogled ovdje samo šta ima. Da li uopšte ima nekog? Aha, trebam njih da sklonim da bi mogao ovdje gore da odem. Okej, okej. Skonto sam. trebam te ptice da sklonim. A mi idemo sada do univerziteta. Evo ga, otvorena vrata odjednom. Da. Ok, može tu da se ide, ali mi idemo ovdje. Da, mamuti, evo vidite, mamuti, jer ih... Ovi tigrovi. Evo ga i ovdje nešto. Kokošje jaje i ovdje isto nešto treba da se stavi. Da, ovdje nešto treba da se stavi, okej. Ima i na drugoj strani, nema. Samo na onoj jednoj, okej. Pa potrči! Evo ga neki gospodin ovdje. Idemo da popričamo s njim.
Hello. Hey, baby, you party? You sure looking mighty fine. Love those big round eyes.
Just who do you think you are?
Hey, spunky. I'd like that in a lady. Okay, I'm hooked. Come on, Zol. I'll let you buy me that coffee.
I don't remember ever asking.
Lol.
Hey, don't play hard to get. I know you like it big time.
Listen, kid. Go back home and play with your toy cars and forget you ever saw me.
Lol. Mali se nabacuje. Veliki mamut. Ok, vjerojatno ovdje treba. Ovi spava. Ne. Ne, fuck, nisam teo tu da ideš. Da sam se spustiš dole. Da drmneš ovoga ako treba. Ok, ovdje bi nešto trebao da pusti preko projektora, verovatno. Ali za sada ništa. Ok, ovo delo kao neki veliki amfiteatar.
No point. It's locked.
Zašto me ne čudi? Ok, idemo opet. Zanimljivo što ja ne znam gdje treba da idem. Ajde imam neku mapu pa da znam otprilike gdje treba da se ide, ali ovako... Nemam pojma. Ok, ajmo probamo ovdje. A ih neka vrata. Knock, knock. Natural faction. Ok, ovo je kao biblioteka, verovatno. Ovdje sad svi uče, čitaju, razmišljaju. Evo ga, ovi jedino ništa ne čita.
Excuse me. Can I disturb you a second?
No.
You could be a little bit nicer about it.
Keep quiet. In case you haven't noticed, we're somewhere that requires silence and tranquility.
Ok, Okej. Evo me vraća na početak, okej. Nije ovdje definitivno ništa, ovdje je samo biblioteka, vjerojatno ću možda da imam nešto, ali kasnije. Tu. Idemo dalje. Evo ih, još jedna vratanca. Vidimo šta ima ovdje. Nak, nak. Oho, evo ih neki profesori. Bože, ovo ko sud, čoveč.
Good day to you, gentlemen.
Tell me, young lady, to what do we owe this pleasure?
Please do be brief. We do not have very much time on our hands.
As rectors of this university, we have serious matters to attend
pa s
to,
njima
and
treba
our
da
time
pričam.
is precious.
I have heard you wish to meet the owner of the train that is currently in your station. May I know the reason for your summons?
We are surprised that your train has not yet left, miss. The situation is most regrettable.
The rules do clearly state that trains are meant to come and go and not remain stationary at a platform.
Trains should first stop, then subsequently leave. That is the rule.
We agree then, dear colleagues, that what we're dealing with is deviant behavior.
This matter really is cause for concern.
It's a clockwork train, you see? So it needs winding up again. Unfortunately, there is no equipment in the station to do this.
A clockwork train? That's strange.
How very quaint. You mean it's some sort of mechanical toy?
You are causing a hindrance to us, miss.
I am very hopeful that I will find what I need along the wall.
The
wall? Miss, that really is not a suitable place for you to go.
Especially for a young lady.
You see, miss, we freely admit that every day we praise the existence of that particular edifice. We owe the integrity of our dear university and the fine education it provides to the wall.
It protects us from harm and invasion from the unknown.
May God protect us from what is beyond those ramparts, miss. Please believe me.
I don't have any choice. I must continue my journey.
Such a decision is a correct one since it's in line with regulations.
Thus, your train will indeed be able to leave.
And consequently cease to obstruct our station.
Okej, evo, mission.
You see, I didn't actually intend to stop here, but the springs of my train gave up, you see?
No, not really. You mean to say you're not a student?
You have arrived a little late in the term, miss. Enrollment for this year has already terminated.
But as rectors of this university and therefore representatives of its highest authority, we could bend the rules a little, if you like.
You don't understand. I'm a lawyer from New York, or rather Valladolid more precisely. My client wants to buy out an old mechanical toy factory, but its heir isn't actually dead and is living somewhere in Syberia. I've got to get to him to sign the sales contract. You see?
Not really. This is a most peculiar tale.
A kerfuffle of the highest order.
We have an excellent law school, if you should ever change your mind.
Ne. Čekaj. Help, ne znam da li ima help. Hans,
Does the name Hans Vorarlberg mean anything to you by chance?
Ah, one of the brightest, most
Znaju
idealistic
Hansa.
intellects to have graced our university. Hans Vorarlberg. I remember speaking to him once. I was still a student at the time. He just stared at me, lost in thought for a while. He scarcely ever said a word. But how can one forget him?
Idealistic? I'll grant you that. But bright? Oh, don't go too far. He was completely incapable of passing any exams. All he ever did was to sit in on lessons, and not many of them either. Paleontology, mainly. He had an unhealthy passion for mammoths, which matched the state of his intellect perfectly. That is to say, prehistoric.
Prehistoric? How dare you? A little far-fetched, maybe. But he did have flashes of intellectual brilliance, comprehensible only to high-minded scholars who hold no score by appearances. My dear colleague, your hasty conclusions are somewhat cavalier.
My assessment is wholly accurate. The boy was a little odd. You must concur if my father, who was rector of the university at the time, had not shown great indulgence towards him. Hans Vorarlberg would have never attended this establishment.
What about the bandstand, then? Is that the work of a deranged mind? Even after all these years, you are still jealous of it.
My dear colleagues, I beseech you, let's show some decorum. We have a visitor. What do you want with Hans Vorarlberg, miss? Are you a member of his family?
No, not at all. I'm looking for him to clear up an inheritance matter. Is he still here?
What? Here? At the university? No, not at all. He left a long time ago. Yes, a very long time ago. The very year I was nominated to this position, in fact. Almost 50 years ago already.
The poor soul moved on once he learned all he needed to know about mammoths.
Ah, this establishment was never quite the same after his departure, it must be said.
You mean to say it was never as bad? All that oddball brought to this university was his misplaced fantasies.
Gentlemen, gentlemen, let's try to retain the calm and level-headedness that befits our position.
Ok. Pitali smo u vezi Hansa, vidimo train.
Excuse me.
Miss, we find ourselves terribly put out by the presence of your train in our station and by its recurrent immobility.
Indeed, the situation is very regrettable. Your huge locomotive is very cumbersome.
A train should first stop, then subsequently leave. That is the rule.
Ok. Bird.
That idea of the station aviary is really very original.
It's the pride of our university. One of the specialties taught here is zoology, you see, and more particularly, ornithology. Proper study and instruction should not be limited to books. Observation of living matter is indissociable from theoretical questions.
It contains some very rare specimens that have been brought back from far-away, exotic countries, especially for our university, by the world's most intrepid explorers.
Do you remember Alexander Valenbois and his peculiar bird?
Absolutely. His gift produced some very embarrassing long-term consequences.
A poison chalice, indeed. It must be said, the situation could have been much worse, however.
Oh, yes, it could have been terribly problematic.
Ok, uglavnom smo sve vidjeli. Čekaj, ajde help
Can
ću
you
da
possibly help me out here?
Miss, your insistence is almost verging on indecency.
We cannot constantly be at your disposal. We have many other requests to attend to.
If you don't mind, could you not disturb us all the time? Thank you.
Well, fuck you.
Here we are.
Already? My word, doesn't time fly by?
Ok,
Thank
propustio
you
sam
for a
fakt, zeznuo
charming
sam se ono
visit,
jedno.
miss.
And thank you, gentlemen.
Ok. To je to. Idemo odavde. Fora što nemam pojma kuda bi trebao sad da idem. Vidim šta ima ovde. Evo ga neko ovde.
Excuse me. Sir, please, just a moment.
Yes, what is it? I'm not deaf, you know.
I am sorry to disturb you in your work, sir, but...
This young Mammothus primigenius is barely 40,000 years old. Fantastic, wouldn't you say, miss?
Ja se razumio mamute.
Yes, probably.
What do you mean, probably?
I don't know.
You don't know? Well, you don't know, I see. What can I do for you, my dear child?
Okay. Ajmo da vidim, čekaj, mission.
It wasn't really my intention to stop off here, but I'll confess, this university is really very impressive.
Ah, indeed. There's such a tradition of learning here. And so much knowledge, a real depth of culture, intelligence, and gray matter. I myself did my studies here and never left.
Actually, I'm here because I've been summoned by the rectors of the university.
Oh, I see. You must have made a mistake on your enrollment form.
Oh, no. I haven't come here to study. I have an important matter of inheritance to attend to. I have to find the heir.
And you hope you will find him here?
I'm not altogether sure. But you see, my train broke down coming into Barrackstadt station.
In that case, my dear, you must come to one of my lectures. Here's a question for you. Do you know what the Proboscidean order is?
The Probo-whatian?
Ne pojma.
Ah, you see? There are gaps in your knowledge that need refreshing.
Ok, idemo help.
I feel I've lost my way a little here. I could really do with your help.
Oh, my dear child, you've chosen your moment. I absolutely must finish off my lecture for this afternoon.
It's a lecture about mammoths?
Oh, yes and no. More specifically, it is about their migration. Do excuse me, I need to concentrate.
Ok, ajmo help. Ne, Hans.
To tell you the truth, I'm looking for Mr. Hans Vorarlberg. He's the sole heir of a very unusual factory. My company is in charge of negotiations for the takeover of this factory. At last word, he was living in Syberia, so as soon as my train is ready, I'll be continuing my journey eastwards.
Syberia. Ah, Syberia. But what was it you said again?
Said what?
You mentioned a name. The person you are looking for.
Hans.
Vorarlberg. Hans Vorarlberg. Do you know him?
Hans Vorarlberg. How could I forget him? Such an extraordinary fellow. So inventive. We shared a passion for mammoths, you know, and we bonded over this passion. Without it, I confess, I would have had little to do with an odd, ageless retard like Hans. At the time, we were both students. Well, sort of. Put it this way. Hans had special permission to attend paleontology lectures. You see, he didn't really have the necessary qualifications. In exchange, Hans did a few odd jobs around the university.
Your Hans Vorarlberg sounds uncannily like the one I'm looking for.
I'm not sure, my dear. Hans was above all questions of money and business. Just to imagine him running a factory, perish the thought.
Can you tell me a little bit more about him?
He was always a mystery to me. He never said very much, and never quite seemed to grasp what you said to him. He expressed himself instead through his incredible mechanical contraptions. His inventions, I admit, have been much appreciated by the university. The few times we really did talk, it was about his strange interest for mammoths and a doll. Some sort of doll that obsessed him.
Doll.
A doll, you say?
Yes, he kept talking about it. One day he described it to me. A sort of children's toy. A miniature mammoth mounted by a mount. It appears he found it in a cave not far from his home. The event all sounds very dramatic. His account was slightly confused, but it awoke a great interest in me.
What do you mean?
To my knowledge, there is only one tribe who made figurines featuring a mouth, and that tribe is the Yukols. They live in the farthest reaches of Syberia, and for them, the dolls constituted a sacred object, illustrating one of their central legends. How such a doll made the journey from the frozen Siberian north to a cave in the French Alps is a mystery to me. Even today, it is beyond my comprehension.
Have you considered that Hans Vorarlberg was maybe making it up? You said yourself he didn't seem to have all his mental facilities intact.
No, that's impossible. Hans couldn't invent the story like that. The doll is a sacred part of the Syberia legend. He described it to me in exact detail. Syberia itself is a chimera that paleontologists of the world are very fond of pursuing.
Ok, ja imam.
My train stopped in a peculiar aviary.
Ja imam
It's
onu
very
igračku.
odd. A lot of bird species seem to seek harbor there.
Ornithology is far from being my favorite subject, but I must concede that the station is the pride of the university. It was initially intended for teaching purposes, but then birds started arriving from all around the world. It seems that there are still rare species breeding there and flourishing.
Are there? Can you give me an example?
I have been told about a kind of bird with peculiar habits. Let's see now, the Amazon cuckoo, that's right. But, oh, I'm so foolish, I can't remember what was so special about it. Just that its behavior is very peculiar.
The Amazon? Where's the Amazon? What is the Amazon?
I'm sorry, my dear, but one cannot learn everything in a lifetime. Specialization is the key to real knowledge. Why don't you pay a visit to our library?
Da, biblioteku I tu verovatno treba pronađem knjigu o tim pticama.
Sorry?
Ok. Pretpostavljam da trebam onu igračku da donesem njemu. Što ću ja i da uradim. To ću da uradim. Jer mislim da znam šta... U stvari ovdje ćemo napraviti pauzu. Mnogo se odužila ovo čekaj, evo ga telefon. Mnogo se odužila priča ova. Dijalozi.
Hello?
So, you got him then, this air?
Ah, it's you, Mr. Marson. Good day, and how are you, sir?
I'll feel a whole lot better when this whole business is over and the sales contract is signed. Where the hell are you?
I'm in Bergstadt.
What? What in God's name are you doing there?
It's a magnificent university town. It would appear Hans Vorarlberg once passed by here several years ago.
So if he isn't there anymore, then there's no point hanging around.
I hear what you're saying, sir, but I have good reason to believe that Hans Vorarlberg is still alive. For the time being, I'm trying to gather extra information from people who have known him.
What's your next destination?
I'm not exactly sure yet.
Doesn't sound like you know too much, Kate.
I just need a bit of time, Mr. Marson.
Yeah, well, time is what you ain't got. Keep me posted.
Okej, koji namćar jebote. Okej, ovdje pravimo pauzu. Ja se odmah izvinjam što je ovaj video baš dugo trajao i ništa nisam zapravo uradio. Mislim, da sam saznao neke stvari, otprilike znam šta ćemo u narednom videu sve da radimo. Znači, treba da pronađemo knjigu i trebamo lutku da damo ovom paleontologu, valjda, ili paleontolog, jebem li kako se tačno zove. Tako da, te dve stvari sigurno treba da uradimo sada. To ćemo naravno u narednom videu. Eto, još jednom izvinjavam se zbog previše dugih dijaloga, jebem li ga. Moralo je. Tako da, to je to. Pozdrav. Ćao!